So today I'm going to guide you through a flow that works into the side body and twist and a little bit of hip release, a way of bringing calm and also energizing the body. So we'll start the class in a comfortable seated position. I'm going to be cross-legged, and if you've got a brick or a book, that can be very helpful for today's practice. So I'm cross-legged. So bring the hands on top of the thighs, palms facing up. Draw the shoulders up towards the ears and slide them down the back, closing down the eyes. Just coming into the body, noticing the body. Maybe there are some tight parts, maybe there are some aches, maybe there's nothing at all, which is brilliant. Start to notice your breath, deepening the breath. Letting it draw down to the base of the spine on the inhale. Pausing and then releasing with a sigh. Just letting go the thoughts, the stories. Inhaling, drawing the breath down to the base of the spine. And again, exhaling with a sigh, just letting it all go. On your next inhale, start to imagine the breath moving down the spine, vertebra by vertebra, all the way to the bottom. Pausing and then moving back up the spine, vertebra by vertebra, all the way to the top. Inhaling, moving down, vertebra by vertebra. Exhaling, moving back up, vertebra by vertebra. And maybe this breath has a colour as it draws down to the base of the spine. And colour as it moves back up. And on your next inhale, bringing the hands to prayer at heart space. Setting an intention for the practice. A short word or phrase, something you can return to throughout the practice, maybe throughout your day. Inhaling, taking the hands up towards the ceiling in breath. Exhaling, rotating to the right, left hand on top of thigh. Inhaling, opening up through the chest. Exhaling, tucking the chin in towards the armpit. Again, inhaling, opening, lifting. Exhaling, tucking, rounding the shoulders, breathing into that space between the shoulder blades. Inhaling, we lift the hands back up towards the ceiling. Exhaling to rotate the other way. Inhale to open up through the chest, looking up. Exhaling, tucking the chin towards the armpit, rounding through the shoulders. Inhaling, opening, lifting. Exhaling to tuck and round. Inhaling, lifting the hands back up to prayer. Exhaling to extend them forward, coming to our 4-point base. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips, making sure that the hands are spread out wide, pressing into the knuckle beds. From here, we're going to inhale, lift the right arm up, threading it underneath the left armpit, as though you're giving yourself a hug, really wrapping around. Inhaling, lifting, reaching. Exhaling, tucking, rounding. One more, inhaling, lifting, reaching. Exhaling, tucking, rounding, coming to let the right shoulder rest on the mat, the right side of the face. And extending the left arm forward. Letting the head be heavy, the shoulders be heavy, breathing into that space between the shoulder blades. You can, on the next inhale, sweep the left arm around, taking a hold of the right hip crease, opening through the front of the left shoulder. Inhaling, bringing left hand back under left shoulder, sweeping the right arm up. And from here, kick-starting the left foot out to the left edge of the mat, pivoting onto the inner edge of the right foot as we come into our gate pose. Now in this pose, think about drawing up, tucking in this left hip, stacking the hips, stacking the shoulders, and imagine my hands between your shoulder blades, leaning into it. Having a lightness through the supporting hand, maybe even tenting the fingers. Sweep the right arm across by the right cheek, feeling that line of energy as you press the foot into the mat. And then lifting up the right leg, coming in out to our supported half moon. Lovely, bringing right hand and right knee back onto the mat. We inhale, lift up through the left arm. Exhale, wrapping left arm under right armpit. Inhaling, lifting, reaching. Exhaling, tucking, rounding. One more, inhaling, lifting, reaching. Exhaling, tucking, rounding, bringing the left shoulder, the left side of the head onto the mat, extending the right arm forward. Breathing into that space between the shoulder blades as we let the shoulders soften and the head be heavy. And let's inhale, you can sweep the right arm around, taking a hold of the left hip crease. So opening up through the front of the shoulder. Inhaling, bringing right hand back under right shoulder, coming back through, sweeping the left arm up. This time, kickstanding the right foot over to the right, coming onto the inner edge of the left foot as we lift up into gate. Having a lightness through the supporting hand, maybe tenting the fingers, tucking the right hip in and under, then opening up, leaning into your back. Sweeping the left arm over by the left cheek, pressing into the left foot. Switching on the whole left side body. Engaging in the left glute, flexing the foot as we lift the foot up. Lovely, lowering the foot down, bringing the left hand, the left knee, coming back to our 4-point base. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. As we tuck the toes, hovering the knees, lifting up through the pelvic floor, tucking the belly button in under the rib cage, slight dome through the shoulders. Just bring a little heat into the practice. Inhaling, lifting up through the hips, coming into our first downward facing dog. That's your first downward facing dog for the day. Just to pedal it out, bending into one knee followed by the other. Letting the breath be your guide. Softening the knee. Start to pedal the feet out so that they're mat width apart. Just noticing the space that creates in the hips. Breathing into it. And coming to stillness. Inhaling, lifting up right leg. When we exhale, bringing the right foot outside the right hand, lowering down through the left knee. Inhaling, lifting up, coming into an easy twist. Exhaling, you have the option here to sweep the right arm around behind, taking a hold of the left hip, or bending the left knee, catching a hold of the foot. Opening up through the chest, opening up through the hip. Releasing the foot, bringing the right hand back inside and stepping the right foot back to meet the left in a downward facing dog. Inhale, lift up left leg. Stepping left foot behind the side, left hand, lowering down through right knee. Inhale, lifting up through the left arm, coming into an easy twist. From here, sweeping the left arm around, either catching a hold of the right hip or bending the right knee, catching a hold of the foot. Lovely. Releasing the foot, bringing both hands back out in front. This time stepping the right foot up to meet the left and coming into a squat. Now you can either come halfway here, resting the elbows on the thighs, or sinking down into the hips. Pressing the arms into the thighs back into the arms, opening up through the chest, hands in prayer at heart space. Maybe rocking out through the hips, just breathing into the stretch, into the release. Slowly pressing through the feet, we're going to move up to standing, bringing the hands back up to prayer, and sweeping them down and around. Coming to stand at the top of our mat, feet hip width apart, hands in prayer at heart space. Returning to your breath. Returning to your intention. Now as we've activated through the side body, the hips, we're going to move into a bit more flow now, starting off with some sun salutations. We inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhaling, forward fold. Halfway lift and lower. Stepping back with right leg, lower down through right knee. Inhale, lifting up, Anjaneyasana. Exhale to frame the front foot, stepping back into plank. Lowering down through the knees. Body one strong line of energy, hovering before lowering all the way to the ground. Inhaling, lifting into baby cobra and lower. Tucking the toes, pushing back up and through into downward facing dog. Taking a big long deep breath. Maybe exhaling with a sigh. Inhale, lift right leg, stepping right foot between the hands, lowering down through left knee. We lift up, Anjaneyasana. Exhaling to frame the front foot, stepping left foot up to meet right in a forward fold. Halfway lift, lower. Inhale, sweeping, lifting up. Exhaling to forward fold. Halfway lift and lower. Stepping back with the left leg, lowering down through left knee. Inhaling, lifting, reaching up. Exhale to frame the front foot, stepping back into plank. Lowering down through the knees. Body one strong line of energy, hovering before lowering all the way to the ground. Lifting up, baby cobra, and lower. Tucking the toes, lifting back up and through, all fours or plank if you're feeling strong. Coming back into downward facing dog. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, lift left leg. Stepping left foot between the hands, lowering down through right knee, lifting up. Anjaneyasana. Framing the front foot, stepping right foot up to meet the left in a forward fold. Halfway lift and lower. Inhale, sweeping up, lifting up. Exhale, hands to prayer at heart space. Returning to your breath, your intention. Move through that flow again with some variations as we inhale, lift up. Exhaling to forward fold. Halfway lift, lower. Step back with right leg, lowering down through right knee. Inhale, lifting up, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, lowering the right hand onto the mat, coming into our easy twist. Bending the right knee, catching a hold of the foot. Releasing, bringing both hands to frame as we step back into plank, going through our vinyasa, so it can be chaturanga or knees chaturanga, baby cobra or up dog, lifting back up and through into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift right leg, stepping right foot between the hands. We press down as we lift up into high lunge. Grounding down through left heel, cartwheeling the arms open, coming into warrior two. Making sure that the knee is above the ankle and outwardly rotated. You want to feel as though you're tearing the mat apart with both feet, grounding down through the left heel, the outer edge of the left foot, drawing back through the left hand. Rotating the right palm upwards, we reach forward, lift up to reverse the warrior. Left hand can go down left leg or wrapped around, taking a hold of the right hip. Bringing right arm inside right thigh, extending the left arm up and then sweeping it over by the left side of the face. Anything about pressing down through the left heel, the outer edge of the foot. Lifting, reaching up. Bringing both hands to frame the front right foot as we step the left foot up to meet the right in a forward fold. We halfway lift and lower. Inhale to lift up, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, lower. Step back with left leg, lowering down through left knee. Inhale, lifting up, Anjaneyasana. Exhaling, bringing left hand inside right thigh, coming into an easy twist. Sweeping right arm around, catching a hold of left foot or left hip crease. Releasing the foot, bringing both hands to frame front foot, stepping back into plank, lowering down through chaturanga or knees chaturanga, inhaling baby cobra or up dog, lifting back up and through into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift left leg, stepping left foot between the hands. We inhale, lift up, high lunge. Opening up through the chest, lifting up. Exhaling, grounding down through right heel, cartwheeling the arms open into warrior two on the other side. Making sure the knee is outwardly rotated and the weight is equally distributed across both legs. So we're really pulling them out, tearing them out apart with both feet. Rotate the front palm upwards, reaching forward to lift up and reverse the warrior. Bringing left arm inside left thigh, extending the right arm up and sweeping it over by the right side of the face. Into the right foot, the outer edge, the heel, feeling that line of energy from heel to hand. Bringing both hands to frame the front left foot, stepping right foot up to meet left in a forward fold. Halfway lift and lower. Inhaling, sweeping, lifting up. Exhaling, hands to prayer at heart space. Returning to your breath, returning to your intention. Bending the knees, sinking down into the hips, we come into Utkatasana. If it can be hip width apart or together, whichever version you're in, drawing up through the inner thighs, really zipping up through the core, tucking in through the sit bones, and sweeping the arms back as though you're throwing a ball behind you. Bringing both hands through to prayer at heart space, rotating to the right, hooking left elbow outside right thigh. Kickstanding, grounding down through this right foot, kickstanding the left foot. And as though you're pushing something away with it, start to push the leg back before coming to land in evolved high lunge. The option to open the arms out like wings. Think about pressing the feet into the mat, drawing up through the inner thighs. The twist comes from the ground up. Beautiful. Grounding down through left heel, cartwheeling the arms back open, coming back into warrior two. Rotating right palm upwards. We reach forward, lift up to reverse the warrior. Bringing right arm inside right thigh, lifting back up and through into extended side angle. From here, we're going to move into half moon. So think about transferring the weight into this front foot. And if you've got the brick to hand or the book, that's super handy. We're using the right hand as a guide, engaging in this left glute as we sweep, lift up. Think about stacking the hips, stacking the shoulders. Now a lightness through the supporting hand. And here you have the option to bend the left knee, catching a hold of the left foot coming into Shavasana. Embracing the wobbles. Maybe hovering the supporting hand off the mat. Lovely work, releasing the foot if you had it, bringing both hands flat onto the mat. So extend the left leg back, coming into standing splits. We exhale, we're going to soften through the right knee, drawing the left knee towards the right calf, coming into Shiva squat. Inhaling, lifting, reaching. Exhaling, tucking, rounding. Inhaling, lifting, reaching. Exhaling, tucking, rounding. One more, lifting, reaching. Before bringing the left foot to meet the right in a forward fold. And here, just let the head be heavy, the neck long, holding opposite elbows, just swaying the hips from side to side. And just releasing the arms, slowly rolling up vertebra by vertebra. Now stand at the top of your mat. Hands in prayer at heart space. Returning to your breath. Returning to your intention. Bending the knees, sinking down into the hips, we come back into Utkatasana. Bringing the hands through to prayer at heart space, rotating to the left, hooking the right elbow outside the left thigh. Taking a peek to make sure that right knee is not overshooting the left. And transferring the weight into the left foot, kickstand the right foot. And then start to push the leg away as though you're pushing something with your foot. Hovering before landing in evolved high lunge. Option to open the arms out like wings. Lovely, bringing the hands through to prayer at heart space, grounded down through the right heel, cartwheeling the open arms out into warrior two. Rotating the front palm upwards or reaching forward, lifting up to reverse the warrior. Exhaling, bringing left arm inside left thigh, lifting the right arm across by right side of face, pressing into the whole, the right foot, the whole right side body switches on. As we set up for half moon, bring the right hand onto the hip, transferring the weight into the front foot, engaging in the right glute, extending the arm forward as we step up, putting the hand on a brick or a block. Lifting, reaching up. Stacking the hips, stacking the shoulders, the lightness through the top of the body. You have the option here to bend the right knee, catching a hold of the foot to take Shavasana. Maybe hovering the left hand off the mat. Beautiful work. Bringing both hands onto the mat, squaring off the shoulders, squaring off the hips, coming into standing splits. Exhaling, softening the left knee, bringing right knee to left calf. Shiva squat, inhaling, lifting, reaching. Exhaling, tucking, rounding. One more, inhaling, lifting, reaching. Exhaling, tucking, rounding. Inhaling, lifting up, bringing the right foot to meet the left, forward fold at the top of your mat. Just holding opposite shoulders again, letting the head be heavy, the neck long, rocking out through the hips. Slowly start to roll up vertebra by vertebra, drawing the shoulders up towards the ears and sliding them down the back. Bringing the hands to prayer at heart space. Returning to your breath, returning to your intention. Coming into eagle arms, we sweep the we sweep the arms up. Exhaling, wrapping right arm underneath left, either holding opposite shoulders, wrapping once, wrapping twice. Softening through the knees, grounding down through the left foot. Bring the right knee up towards your chest, either touching the mat or wrapping the leg around once, maybe twice. Bringing the elbows up in line with the shoulders, sinking down into the hips. And breathing into the pose. Start to bring the elbows towards the knees, the eagle peering over the precipice. Slowly unwrapping the right leg, stepping it back, coming into warrior one with eagle arms. So grounding down through the right heel, the outer edge of the right foot, front knee is bent. Releasing, letting the eagle soar, interlacing the hands behind the back. Inhale, lifting up through the chest. Exhaling, tipping forward from the hips to humble the warrior. Let the head be heavy and the neck long. Legs are strong as we draw the left hip in towards the center line, tucking it in. Releasing through the shoulders. Lovely, releasing the hands, framing the front foot, sweeping the left leg back up and through into our three-legged dog. With the option to come into a three-legged vinyasa, a regular vinyasa, or coming to downward facing dog or child's pose for 5 breaths. If you're vinyasa, rippling forward into plank, chaturanga, knees chaturanga, baby cobra or up dog. Looking back up and through into downward facing dog. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Bending the knees, gazing forward, either step or hop to the top of the mat. Halfway lift and lower. Inhaling, reaching, lifting up. Exhaling, hands to prayer at heart space. Returning to your breath. Returning to your intention. Coming into eagle on the other side, we inhale, lifting the arms up. Exhaling, wrapping left arm underneath right. Sinking down, best softening the knees, sinking down into the hips. Lifting up through the left leg, crossing left leg over right. Either touching the mat or wrapping once, wrapping twice. Bending the knees, sinking down into the hips. Drawing the elbows up in line with the shoulders. Start to tip the weight forward, bring the elbows towards the knees. And then carefully start to unwrap the left leg, stepping back into warrior one, grounding down through the left heel, the outer edge, lifting up to warrior one with eagle arms. And releasing the arms, letting the eagle soar, interlacing the hands. This time the non-habitual way behind the back, lifting up through the chest. Exhaling, tipping forward to humble the warrior. And the legs are strong. Tucking the right hip in and under. The head be heavy, the neck long, releasing through the shoulders. Releasing the hands in front of the front foot, sweeping the right leg back up and through, coming into your three-legged dog. From here, you have the option to come through a three-legged vinyasa, regular vinyasa, or downward facing dog or child's pose. If you're vinyasa and rippling forward into plank, chaturanga, up dog, bending the knees, sinking down into the hips, coming into a well-deserved child's pose. Noticing the connection of the head with the mat. Coming back into downward facing dog, tucking the toes, lifting up through the hips. Inhale, lift right leg. Bringing right knee to nose, tucking, rounding. Inhaling and lifting, reaching up. Right knee, right tricep. Inhaling, lifting, reaching up. Exhaling, right knee, left tricep. Kickstanding the foot, coming onto the outer edge of the right foot. The inner edge of the left foot, lifting up through the left hand, coming into fallen star. Lovely, bringing left hand down onto the mat, lifting the right leg back up and through, bending the knee, stacking the hip, coming into three-legged dog. You can stay here or flip the dog, coming into wild thing by lowering down through the right foot, pivoting onto the left foot, lifting up through the right hand, bring the hips up towards the ceiling. Lovely work, bringing the right hand back onto the mat, lifting the left leg back up. This time bringing left knee behind rather right knee behind right wrist, shin along the mat, sliding the left leg back, setting up for pigeon. Now, before we come into pigeon, we'll do some king pigeon prep. So think about, rather than sinking down into the hips, drawing up, so that zipping up action is the same that we do in Utkatasana, drawing the inner thighs in and up, tucking in through the pelvic floor, tucking the belly button in under the rib cage. Bring the right hand in front of your face, bending the left knee. You can sweep the left arm around and either take a hold of the hip crease or catch a hold of the foot. And from here, you can then tuck the foot into the elbow or keep a hold of the foot, whatever works for you. But think about that zipping up action, lifting up out of the hips, bending the right arm, and you can catch, taking the bind, but, or just having a balance, having a balance practice by hovering the right hand off the mat, maybe lifting it up. Then if it's available, bending the right arm and interlacing the hands or aiming to do that. Beautiful. One more big deep breath. Carefully releasing the foot. Start to walk the hands along the mat, so you're pulling your whole body along the mat. Coming into pigeon, inclined pigeon. Letting the head rest on the hands. Letting the head rest on the mat. Making sure that the head is heavy, the neck is long. Heavy exhale, drawing the breath, sinking a little deeper. And breathing into the right hip. Taking one more big deep inhale. Exhaling, sighing it out. Start to walk the hands back up, tucking the toes, stepping back into downward facing dog. Now you've got the option here to go through a vinyasa, stay in downward facing dog, or come to child's pose. If vinyasa in rippling forward into plank, chaturanga or knees chaturanga, baby cobra or up dog. Come back up and through, we all meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, lift left leg. Bending the knee, bringing knee to nose, tucking, rounding. Inhaling, lifting, reaching up. Exhaling, left knee, left tricep. Inhaling, lifting, reaching back up. Exhaling, left knee, right tricep. Extending the leg, coming onto the outer edge of the left foot, grounding down through right foot, lifting up through the right hand, coming into Fawn Star. Beautiful, lowering down through the right hand, sweeping the left leg back up, bending the knee, stacking the hip, coming into three-legged dog. Flipping the dog, coming into wild thing by lowering down through the left foot, pivoting on the right foot, lifting up through the left hand, opening the chest, the hips up towards the ceiling. Bringing left hand onto the mat, sweeping the left leg back, up and through. Bringing left knee behind left wrist, shin along the mat. Sliding the right leg back. Inhaling, lifting up out of the hips. Before we come into pigeon, we're going to have another king pigeon prep. So think about that zipping up through the inner thigh, lifting up through the pelvic floor, placing the left hand in front of the face, sweeping the right arm around, either taking a hold of the left hip crease, bending the right knee, catching a hold of the right foot. Now, options here, you can keep a hold of the right foot, just lifting up into that, or hooking the foot into the arm, the elbow, the armpit. That would be amazing. Into the elbow. And having a practice with the balance here. So lifting up through the left hand, maybe hovering it, or lifting the left arm up. You can even bend the left elbow behind the head, reaching for the hands. Noticing how one side is very different to the other. Lovely. Carefully releasing the foot, bringing both hands out in front of you. Start to walk the body along the mat. So you're pulling it along as you walk down, coming onto the elbows, or maybe bringing the head to rest on the hands or the mat. Wherever it is, just letting the head be heavy, the neck long. Drawing the breath down to the base of the spine, and breathing into the left hip. And just releasing it, letting go. Taking one more big deep breath. And a sigh. Slowly start to walk the hands back up, coming onto the left sit bone, sweeping the right leg around, bringing the sole of the left foot inside the right thigh. Setting up for Janu Shasana. Inhale, we lift the arms up. Exhaling, tipping forward from the hips, and let the hands land where they land. There's no need to reach or grab for the foot. So if they get a hold of the foot, fine, go with it, or hold the calf, or just let them rest either side of the leg, palms facing up. Again, let the head be heavy and the neck long. Turning to your breath, drawing down to the base of the spine, vertebra by vertebra on the inhale, and back up the spine, vertebra by vertebra on the exhale. One more big deep inhale. And exhale, start to walk. Hands back up. Bringing the left hand behind the left hip, pressing into the left shin and the sole of the foot as we lift up through the hips. Exhaling to lower back down, swapping legs, so bringing the right foot inside the left thigh. Inhale, we lift up. Exhaling to tip forward, and again, let the hands land where they land. So foot, shin, or framing the leg, palms facing up. Breathing into it. Not reaching for anything. One more big deep breath. Slowly coming up to seated. Extending both legs on the mat, feet are flat, and placing the hands just behind the knees. Inhaling, we're going to lift up through the chest. And imagine you've got an ice cube at the base of your spine, lifting up, feeling that engagement in the core, the front body. You can have the shins hovering, one shin followed by the other. Maybe releasing the hands. Maybe extending the legs, drawing the thighs, wrapping the thighs in, lifting up, reaching up. Embracing the wobbles. Beautiful work, slowly lowering the feet back down, wrapping the arms around, tucking in the chin, rounding through the shoulders, giving yourself a great big hug. Slowly rolling down, vertebra by vertebra, keeping the feet flat on the mat, hip width apart, back to our semi-supine position. As we come into bridge, so arms are by sides, palms facing down, pressing through the feet. Inhale, and on the exhale, start to lift up through the hips, moving up vertebra by vertebra. And you can stay here or interlace the hands, rolling onto the shoulder heads, lifting up through the chest, coming into bridge, keeping the breath slow and deep. Thinking about it moving down to the base of the spine. Think about the thighs wrapping in. Releasing the arms, slowly rolling down, vertebra by vertebra. Enjoying that moment where the base of the spine connects with the mat. And just let the knees rock side to side. Letting them land on the right hand side. Cactusing the arms or extending them out wide. And you can hook the right foot on top of the left thigh. Maybe gazing over at the left hand. Let the shoulders be heavy. Keeping the breath slow and deep. The deeper the breath in a twist, the greater the benefit. Unhooking the foot if you had it hooked, bringing the knees back up to center, letting them drop over to the left. And again, here you can place the left foot on top of the right thigh, maybe gazing over at the right hand. Unhooking the foot, bringing the knees back to center. And he can take happy baby or even plow by, so happy baby catching a hold of the outer edges of the feet or taking the yogi peace grip with the big toe, rocking out side to side. Extending one leg followed by the other. When you're ready, releasing the feet, letting them fall out wide, legs are heavy, arms are out wide, palms facing up, sliding the shoulders down the back. Neck is long, head is heavy. Closing down the eyes, lightly turning up the corners of the mouth. With every exhale, could you sink a little deeper? Keeping the breath slow and deep. Turning it into a whisper. Releasing, letting go, knowing that I'm holding space for you and we'll let you know when it's time to return. Now you're more than welcome to stay. If you're ready to return, return with breath. Start deepening the inhale and the exhale, returning to the breath, moving down vertebra by vertebra on the inhale and back up vertebra by vertebra on the exhale. Maybe that breath has a colour. Maybe the colours change from the start of practice to the end. And bring the arms overhead, interlacing the hands, giving yourself a big long stretch from fingertip to toe. Coming to lie on your favourite side, drawing your knees up to your chest, using your arms as a pillow. Renewed, restored, revitalised. And then with the eyes closed or the gaze lowered, coming to a comfortable seated position with your hands in prayer at heart space. Turning to your intention. Taking that intention to your third eye for clarity, your throat for truth and love, and your heart for compassion, especially towards yourself. Bowing down, thanking yourself for giving yourself this time. Namaste.